the search for excellence and the journey towards excellence. So I have a 3-point formula for that. So the first thing is that when you try to do anything or when you're trying to accomplish anything, a lot of times we find that all of us will just keep doing something. We are just acting, we're doing something. And we leave very little time for ourselves to first ask ourselves, why? Why am I doing what I'm doing? If I have to go somewhere, why do I want to go there in the first place? So the first point of the formula is vision. If you have an audacious vision, it's a good idea to always have a vision which other people laugh at. If somebody laughs at you and says, this is quite silly, this is ridiculous, this is not going to happen, it's a good vision, because it's something you're going to do for the first time as a pioneer. It's going to be something which the world had not imagined, but you're able to see. That means you're going in the right direction. You could also be wrong, and you could actually get the next 2 steps wrong, but you could also be wrong. And obviously it's happened in my life a number of times, the number of mistakes I must have made in my life and still make in my life. But the first point is to have this audacious vision. I'm going to tell you a bit of a story of when my vision took shape. Okay, because in order to have that vision, you need to ask yourself, what is it that makes you happy? So the next step is what. So after you've asked yourself why you're doing it, what is it that will make you completely happy, completely satisfied? And the story I have is of a young woman who used to work in my team when I was HR head at a company based in Pune, a good 18 years ago. So one, fine evening, or I would say late night, because it was a BPO company, we had to let go of a few people. Why? Because they were not willing to work in night shift. So this was one of those women, because the earlier project got over, there was no day shift job. And she came from a very conservative Indian family where her father was insisting that my daughter will not work in night shift. So I tried telling her in the, saying that there is no job for you now. You'll have to look for another job. Every other person has been placed into another project. So she was very adamant, and she was a young girl, very, very adamant. And she said, no, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to work with you in HR, because you're HR head. I'm going to work with you. I said, look, you can't just work with me. There is no position in HR. There are just some interns who are there, but you have a full-time job. There is no paid role like that. So she said, no, I don't mind. I'll work as an intern, and, it's fine, but I want to work. So I was quite impressed with her determination. So we asked her to resign, and she came and joined us. She worked for HR, for us for 3 months at half the salary, less than half the salary, because it was not meant to be a full-time role in the first place. It was an internship. And wonder of wonders, the way she worked, she used to be with everything. We're organizing an event, she's with us. We're doing some, some policy work, she's with us. She's just helping with everything that we were doing. And somebody else who was my peer, the head of another department, he noticed, and he said, that girl is really good. Can I look at her for my project? And I said, sure. And you will not believe it. She worked in the same company for a good 5 years. After that, she was sent from Pune to London by the same company. She won the best employee award year after year. She went to and joined an IIT after that. And my great pride was, I think about 8 years later, when I came to England, she was the one who said, let me take you out for coffee. And I think that's the sweetest coffee I've ever tasted in my life. Why is this story important? Because it told me something about myself, that when I have experiences like this, I feel, this is success for me. Everybody's idea of success, everybody's vision of what success means to them in terms of financial success or, success in other formats. For me, this is success. So this told me there's something about myself, and that's the direction I chose to pursue. So I've spoken about vision. I've spoken about the fact that, the why and the what, where we want to go. And now last, I'm going to talk about how. How do these things happen? These things happen if you put that extra thing, that little bit of extra from yourself, which is really the difference between what is outstanding and what is excellent. So I know the series is about excellence, but I'm going a step a little bit further and saying beyond excellence. What is beyond excellence? It's outstanding. These things will happen if you pour your entire passion into whatever you do. So this is about, first, as I said, vision, then the focus, and then the passion. In order to be able to pour that passion into whatever you do, let me go take a step back and talk about focus again. But because focus in general is about a lot of times knowing what not to do. Because what I started saying that, a lot of us are just doing. We're not thinking about vision, focus, and passion. We're just doing. But if you really want to do something which is going to be outstanding, you'll actually need to make a list of things which are stopping you from going where you want to be, and then make it happen. I'll again end with another example of the persons with disabilities who I now work with, because that was my other defining moment. I used to go by train from Milton Keynes in the UK to London for my job for a good 5 years. This was 2 years ago. And Mumbai trains and London trains are two different things, as you know. I was used to Mumbai trains where everybody's very friendly and talking, and even if it's too busy and hot and crowded, everybody was smiling at each other and wanting to have a conversation, at least in the ladies' compartment. But it's not like that from Milton Keynes to London. And nobody was talking, nobody was smiling, and it's culturally very different for someone like me who likes to smile and likes to meet people. So what happened during those years is I made three friends. One was a visually impaired person, two, in fact, visually impaired people. One used to have his dog along, his guide dog, and the other one who would, be independent, visually impaired. And another lady who is wheelchair bound, a wheelchair user and a disability activist in the UK. And I made friends with three of them. And I said, this lady drives to Milton Keynes stations on her own. Of course, she's got a carer with her, and then she gets into the compartment and she does everything on her own. And then she goes to London. And, she used to tell me all about her difficulties in getting there. There are a lot of stations which don't have an elevator because they're old. A lot of times she said, Manjiri, you get up at maybe 6:30 or 6 o'clock or 5:30 to be on this train, but I have to wake up at 4 because it just takes me longer to dress and all these other things. So despite that, she was a responsible member of society. And that inspired me to think, why can't this happen in my country? Why can't it happen in Pune, where I grew up and where I lived, and where there is somebody with disability who's working with us? So that was a journey a few years ago. Today, I'm very happy and very proud to say that the organization which my late mother, Dr. Vidya Gokhale, my husband, Abhay Joshi, and I started 12 years ago, called Maya Care. Today, we are in 31 cities of India. We are in 4 cities of the UK. And more important than anything else, we have a leadership team of persons who have overcome disabilities. We have 120 persons with disabilities working with us, out of which a team of 15 leaders, especially 10 women leaders, are on their way to achieve what I just told you about, with the vision, with the focus and the passion to give it their best. Thank you.